What you are about to hear is shocking. A police officer who works inside the prison, where P. Diddy is detained, revealed explosive details about one of the most chaotic moments since his arrival. The rapper, already on the edge of a collapse with the judgment approaching, began to disagree with other detainees, challenged the guards, and when least expected, made the unthinkable. He attacked a policeman so brutally that he broke the agent's arm in front of all. Chaos has taken over the prison, and now Diddy is isolated. New accusations weighing against him. What happened that day? What led the former hip-hop, former Melander, to completely lose control? In this video, one of the cops that was there counts everything. Get ready to find out details that no one would ever imagine. Watch until the end, and comment what you think will happen to him now. I've seen many prisoners lose their heads inside, but few with the arrogance and intensity of P. Diddy. Since he arrived, he has acted as if it was still a celebrity with privileges. But now he is starting to realize that inside he is just another detainee. In recent days, the tension around it has only increased. The trial is coming, and you can see that he is feeling the weight of it. He is restless, annoyed all the time. He walks around in the cell, hitting the bars, murmuring things to himself. We have had reports from other detainees saying that he is easily exploded, arguing for any reason, either because of food or for someone to look at him the wrong way. One of my colleagues said he tried to talk to him last week just to ask if it was okay, and his answer was a cold look followed by a grumbling. "If I was okay, would I be here?" he replied, full of contempt. Yesterday I saw him changing in the courtyard. Another prisoner. Any guy just bumped into him unintentionally. Anyone else would have let it pass. But Diddy was furious. He started screaming, pointing his finger on the guy's face, and just didn't break up. Because other detainees and guards intervened quickly. It took a guard to give him a direct order to calm down, but you can see that he is about to explode. He is not dealing with this reality well. And with the judgment coming, it is only getting worse. And believe me, that was just the beginning. What came later was much worse. I've seen a lot of guys get here thinking that they are still important, but the prison has a cruel way of equalizing everyone. At first, Diddy still tried to keep the pose. He walked through the courtyard as if he were above the other prisoners, looked at the guards as if we were just extras in his story. But over the days, it started to change. He is clearly shaken. The trial is coming, and I think he realized that this time, he has no money or influence that will save him. Frustration has become anger, and now it is becoming a real problem inside. It started with small teasing. He argued with others prisoners for banal things. Someone would take the tray of food. Before him, someone would pass the front line. He did not accept to be treated like any other. In one of these, I saw him raging with a guy who was on the phone before him, shouting that nobody talks more than him, as if they were still controlling something. The guards had to intervene before they fought. But the situation got even worse when he began to challenge his own guards. Usually prisoners who know they are in trouble try to maintain a discreet profile, avoid confusion. But Diddy? He seems to want to prove that he still has power, even behind bars. There was a day when one of the guards ordered him to return to the cell. Nothing extraordinary, just a standard procedure. But he stood, crossed his arms, and simply said, "Do you know who I am? Do you think you can talk to me like that?" The guard, of course, was not impressed at all, gave the order once again. That's when Diddy stepped forward, challenging the other detainees. Stopped to watch, feeling that something was going to happen. But luckily, another guard appeared and prevented the situation from leaving control. This became a pattern each passing day. He is more aggressive, more impulsive. It seems that he is testing the boundaries, as if he wanted to see how far he can go before someone really stops him. But what happened next? Well, it changed everything, and there was no more like him back. I knew it was just a matter of time. You can feel when a prisoner is about to cross the line. In Diddy's case, this happened one afternoon. He was especially annoyed. He had already argued with two prisoners in the courtyard and refused to return to the cell when ordered. My colleagues and I were already eyeing him, but no one expected him to be too far. It all started when one of the guards, a guy who has been working here for years and has seen everything, had Diddy leave the ordinary area and return to the cell. He was already bothering the other prisoners, and the tension in the environment was getting dangerous. But instead of obeying, Diddy stared at the guard and laughed, sarcastic. "Do you want to send me in here? Don't tell me what to do." The guard kept his calm. "This happens all the time." He repeated the order, but this time with a firmer tone. And that's when everything came out of control. Diddy exploded. He left the guard suddenly, pushing him hard against the grid. The shock was so large that the noise echoed through the hallway. The other prisoners got up from their banks, feeling that something serious was happening. The guard tried to contain the situation, but Diddy continued to advance. He was out of control, screaming, his eyes full of anger. It was too fast. A blow, a dry crack. The guard shouted in pain and fell to the floor, holding his arm. I knew it on time. I was broken. The other guards ran to the scene and had to act fast. Diddy was still screaming, resisting, trying to break free. But no matter how much he fights inside, he has no control. It took less than a minute to immobilize and handcuff him. And that's when he noticed. When he looked around and saw all his eyes on him, guards, prisoners, security cameras recording everything, it was clear that he had made a serious mistake. The silence that followed was heavy. Only the injured guard was heard by breathing heavily on the floor and the steps of the other guards, dragging Diddy from there. But the damage was already done, and what came later was the price he would have to pay for it. As soon as the dry crack of the broken bone echoed through the corridor, the entire arrest changed its climate. I've seen fights inside. I've seen uncontrolled prisoners. But what happened there was different. This was not just any fight. It was a direct attack on the authority within the jail. The guard fell to the floor, holding his arm. His face contracted in pain. It was all very fast, but the scene was marked in everyone's head. Diddy, still full of anger, didn't seem to believe what he had just done. His chest climbed and descended fast, his eyes wide. He wanted to keep fighting, but at that moment, he had already lost. The other guards acted immediately. 3 of them jumped on Diddy, holding his arms and throwing him against the wall. He resisted, tried to let go, but inside, no one is strong enough to fight with this system. You're screwed, man. It's very screwed, said one of the guards as he handcuffed him. Meanwhile, the injured policeman was being rescued. His arm was completely immobilized, and could see from the swelling that the fracture was serious. He was hastily taken from the wing while the other detainees watched in silence. Some shocked, others just watching as if it were a spectacle. But the chaos was far from over. As soon as the news spread, the arrest warned, the superiors were called, the security protocols were reinforced, and the detainees were locked for hours. Any incident like this can have a domino effect. Within the jail, a spark can lead to a fire. And Diddy, well, he was dragged out of the wing and taken directly to the lonely. Along the way, he shouted, still trying to debate himself, saying that this was absurd, which were trying to end him. But the truth is that he himself put himself in this situation. Now he is not just a prisoner waiting for trial. He is a prisoner who attacked a prison officer, and that only worsened his fate. Diddy may have thought that as a celebrity he could get away with everything. But inside, no matter how many millions he has in the account, after what he did, things changed dramatically to him. Not in a good way. As soon as he was taken to the lonely, we already knew that the repercussions would be serious. Adding a guard inside the prison is not something that goes unnoticed and break the arm of an officer. This means only one thing: new criminal accusations. The prison management acted fast. In less than 24 hours, Diddy already had a new hand problem. A process for aggression to an agent of the law. And this is no joke. He had his career ruined, with a trial about to define his destination. And now he has managed to add more time to his possible sentence. His lawyers tried to minimize the damage, claiming that he was under extreme stress and that the situation could have been avoided with a different approach. But the truth is that the video of the attack was already circulating internally, and one thing is certain: there is no convincing defense when the images show everything. And the impact of this did not stop there. Prison superiors determined that Diddy would lose privileges. No visits for a long time, no external communication, no exits to the courtyard. From now on, your routine would be just the cell and nothing more. He went from a problematic detainee to a safety risk of the institution, and that means that any chance of him getting a lighter treatment before the trial was the drain. Now he has no more control over anything. If before, he still dreamed of a strategy to try to alleviate his situation in court, now he gave ammunition to the prosecution. The judge will not only see a businessman accused of crimes, he will see a man who, even arrested, is still able to be violent. And in court, it never ends well. What will happen to him now? That only time will say. But one thing is certain: Diddy is more screwed than ever. So that's it, guys. P. Diddy was already facing one of the most difficult times in his life. But now he managed to sink his own situation. Even more, with this assault on the guard. He not only lost any privilege he still had in prison, but added one more accusation to his criminal record. If before, it seemed difficult for him to get out of this without a heavy sentence, now it seems almost impossible. The big question is what will happen to him now? Will lawyers be able to reverse this damage, or that was the missing lime to bury P. Diddy's career in freedom once and for all? Now I want to know about you. What did you think of this whole confusion? Do you think Diddy has lost his head for good, or is he provoked inside the prison? Leave your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates of this story. We see each other in the next video.